John, a passionate golfer, had been playing golf for over a decade. He loved the sound of the club hitting the ball, the feel of the turf under his shoes, and the camaraderie among his golf buddies. But there was one part of the game that always eluded him, chipping the ball close to the hole from the fringe of the green. More than anything, John wanted to master this technique. Every time his ball landed on the fringe, a sense of dread would wash over him. His golf buddies had often ribbed him about his fringe phobia, but to John, it was no laughing matter. He wanted to chip with confidence, placing the ball right next to the hole with the finesse of a pro. No matter how much he practiced, John's chips would either fly too far, rolling well past the hole, or they'd be too short, hardly making any distance at all. He realized he couldn't generate the spin needed for the ball to stop close to the hole. Unlike putting from off the green, where he had more control, chipping felt unpredictable and frustrating. Determined to overcome this obstacle, John decided to seek help. He began watching online tutorials, like how to chip from different lengths of grass, on YouTube. He also started taking lessons from Mike, a local golf instructor who introduced him to the putt chip technique, a method that allowed players to bump and run the ball toward the hole. Despite his best efforts, John's mental block remained. While he understood the mechanics behind the putt chip and could execute it flawlessly during practice sessions, once he was out on the course, old habits would creep back in. The pressure of the game, combined with his past failures, clouded his judgment, and he'd revert to his old, flawed chipping technique. One sunny afternoon, as John was about to chip from the fringe during a friendly match, his friend Ricky, a fellow golfer who had witnessed John's chipping woes for years, came over and whispered something in his ear. "Golf is a game of numbers, John. Here's the secret master chippers all understand. Rollout ratio. You see, each club in your bag has a certain loft and trajectory, and each trajectory has what is called a rollout. For example, if you chip with a 5-iron, there is a 7-to-1 rollout ratio. In other words, for every foot the 5-iron chip flies, there will be a 7-foot rollout. So if the cup is 8 feet away, simply chip a 5-iron 1 foot forward and it just works." Almost. You also have to understand green speed and slopes, but if you stick with the basic math and throw in a little art, you will become that master chipper you've always wanted to be, fast. Each club in your bag has a different rollout ratio. For example, the 9-iron is 3-to-1. The units of measurement can be anything you choose. But for now, just get good with the 5-iron to understand the concept of rollout. And one final note, to determine the distance you want to chip the ball in the air with a 5-iron, simply divide the distance measured to the hole by 8. For example, if the distance you measured was 16 steps, then you need to chip a 5-iron 2 steps, and if the line is right, it will always end up near or even in the hole. From that day on, John's chipping improved dramatically, and it was so easy. It really came down to math and thoughtful golf. The rule of 12 will change the way you play and lower your scores in just a day.